But let's bring it to, because Linda, you made a really good point about, where were the Latino makers besides Lin-Manuel Miranda making noise? We had a discussion. Somebody put out 25 Latinos who are changing the game, and we were like, well, there's a lot of folks here we like, and there's 2 or 3 people in this 25 who we could say did something really groundbreaking or culture shifting or has the potential to do that. But we didn't agree that most of those folks need to be on there.
Only
J-Lo
because
has
I
had a
thought
very
they had their
mixed
moments.
year. Say more.
Well, you know what?
I wanted to say that list of Latinos included Sandra Cisneros.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There was another person. I just feel that
Maria Hinojosa.
Yeah, they're not recent groundbreakers.
Yes,
they've been groundbreakers.
Yeah.
They're trailblazers.
Yeah.
But they're not people that are doing something new. Like, no doubt, Gabby Rivera should be on that list.
Yes.
Congratulations, Gabby.
But I didn't agree with some of the other people. But who am I? Who am I?
You know what's funny? Sophie, Siri and I were talking, and I think even with the people that you mentioned, like Cisneros and Hinojosa, they're not groundbreaking. They may be trailblazing for our community.
Right.
And I hate to say it, and it pains me to say it, but there's not a lot of us that are innovating. Lin-Manuel is innovating.
Right.
He's changing the landscape.
Right.
I don't know that. I mean, we're adding our flavor, and God bless a lot of the Cisneros who's giving you a lot, literature with our stories. But I don't know that that's really groundbreaking. And I think that it's not until we start innovating, changing the landscape, that something exists that nobody had seen before, like Beyond Lemonade, that we can really kind of say, we're groundbreaking. I think too much we play catch up.
I think a lot of those lists too. I mean, I in general, I find a list problematic, and I think part of it is because I've been traumatized a little bit by Latina magazine's lists. They put out a lot of lists, and the lists, and I find that a lot of times the lists are a reach, right? So you decide, okay, we're going to put out this list, and and they're sort of, I guess, well-intentioned or well-meaning, so what's the purpose of the list? You want to expose the community to people or to artists or, to people they should know. And that has a good intention. But a lot of that was a reach, right? And so people were coupled on that list that I think you're right, didn't seem to make sense or didn't go together, and they were sort of genres, or sort of different artistries, which didn't make sense. And I think, some of them might have worked together, grouped in different lists, but in terms of groundbreaking right now, what have they done, right? So I know that Sandra Cisneros recently was honored, right? I think it was at the Kennedy Center honors. So she got that honor, by President Obama, which is wonderful, right? That's amazing. However, she has a long legacy. She's been writing for decades. But Linda, used the perfect word, trailblazer, right? She's been around for a while. Her voice is important to our community, but it's been there now. Whereas, Gabby Rivera is doing something completely different, right? And her work is creating a new voice, or a voice that maybe we haven't heard, right? And so that then is different. And I think that idea of innovation, of creating something new, and I think what we have to ask ourselves is, what does that really look like? I've been in conversation with my students about, the sort of philosophical conversation of, are there any original ideas? Can we really create something new, right? And so, and I don't think we're going to get into that debate right now per se, but I think that's the question that we have to ask ourselves as Latinos, right? Are we creating something new? And I know that there was a little blip about J-Lo that kind of went in and went back out, and that was sort of my struggle with her a little bit this year. I know she had her show, interesting, and I think we we had our discussion about her, the season finale of her show sometime last year, But then she had that music video, which was like backwards, you know, and it's feminist, I don't know, sentiment or whatever. So it's like, oh, you know, what are we really doing here? So the, you know, those lists tend to reach, right? So why does it have to be 25? And then you're grasping at straws, trying to make it fit 25. Why don't you just have 5 really cool new people, you know, and just let it be 5 great people that people don't know, you know, or whatever. Because then the list seems arbitrary, you know, and they don't really make sense. And then you have people like us, you know, sort of like dissecting it.
Well, the problem with the list too is that we want to, you know, we want to move away from celebrating people just because we feel represented by them, and we want it to be more about what it is that they're creating, because that is what's going to push us forward. So we don't want to, hey, by the way, did you know that this person did this and this person's Latino? And we're like, well, did what they do, was it any good?